Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal. Cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occur. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events: infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Put UC in check and keep it there with Rinvoq. Ask your gastroenterologist about Rinvoq.
Hey, welcome to Camping with Steve. We're not snowed in anymore. We rented this little car here to putt around in until we get ours fixed. And we got a major snowfall warning coming in tonight, like imminent or occurring as we speak. So, back of the rental car, I got set up with a little bunk here. And I'm just going to try camping out in the car for the night in a snowstorm. So I'm going to find a spot to park, and I'll go over a few things, because I have actually lived in a car before for about a month or so. And I'll just touch on a few things, because, you know, nobody plans to live in a car, but if you ever do find yourself in a car, it's nice to know a few things in advance. So let's get started. For various reasons, people can find themselves sleeping in a car. That doesn't necessarily mean you've been evicted or you're homeless or something like that. It could be as simple as a breakdown, or maybe the hotels are all booked up on your journey. So you want to be pretty close to a 24-hour gas station, because gas stations are an excellent source of bathrooms. And you don't want to be carrying antifreeze jugs with you for those emergency calls. You want to be generally somewhere pretty close to services. The snow is beginning, so next stop after we fuel up here is going to be to find our spot. And after that, I'm going to secure some food. I'm not going to cook in this car, because that's a whole other world of problems. It takes special skill to do properly. But there's an abundance of restaurants all over the place. Walmarts used to be a good option for a quick overnighter. They've seemed less friendly over the years. Some people have probably abused the privilege of parking overnight, turned it into a full-on vacation, pulled out with lawn chairs, etc. But there's other options that are just as good. Not too nice of a neighborhood, not too bad of a neighborhood. You need that Goldilocks zone for sure, because you're likely to get into trouble in both the extreme locations. If you're somewhat close to an apartment building where there could be random vehicles, that's a good thing too, because a lot of people know the vehicles in their neighborhood, and they keep an eye out for each other, obviously. And a strange car would arouse some severe suspicion there was somebody sleeping in it overnight. So we're in search of just that neighborhood, and I know of a spot that should work. This looks like a pretty good spot. There is no sidewalk along this side here. There is an apartment building over there. So it's not unusual, I guess, for a vehicle to be parked here. Maybe they're visiting a friend or loved one at the apartment building. It's your typical blue-collar, working-class neighborhood. So I don't think there should be too much of a problem. Now, what might seem like a downfall is that there's a heavy snowfall warning, but that just means my windows will be all covered in snow, and nobody is going to be able to see them. When I moved out to the coast, I lived in my car years ago in my 20s for the first month until I got my RV, and that was great when it rained or something like that, because the windows would get coated in this pebbly coating of water, and it was really hard for anybody to see in. It was a little bit more tricky to tell if there was condensation on the window, which there will be in cold temperatures. So I will be cracking the windows just enough to get some ventilation, to let some moisture out, and not big enough to let the snow in, hopefully. So we're going to go around the block, make sure there's nothing major happening here that would be a problem, like party somewhere or something like that. And I think we're in the zone for a good camping spot. Yeah, I don't see any major raging keggers in the neighborhood. I don't see anybody staring out their blinds with binoculars looking for trouble. I think this is going to be a great spot to set up camp for the night. I'm just going to secure some food before it snows too badly, and then once I get parked, I'll pretty much stay there so that there's no tracks coming in and out of my car, and we should be a-okay for a stealthy sleep in the car. Now, I swore to myself years ago that I'd never own another vehicle that I couldn't live in if push came to shove. So something along these lines is really versatile and not too bad on gas as well. Food is ordered, and according to this app, that means 15 minutes from now, I'll be eating a hot, steaming, delicious pizza. So the obvious question is, why am I sleeping in a Hyundai Santa Fe? To be honest, I get a kick out of it. There's a little bit of a challenge. It's cozy, I think, and it takes me back to my mid-20s. I'd spent a month living in a Pontiac G6, which is nowhere near as good of a setup as this. But the first few days were rough. After that, it was a walk in the park. I could pull in, sleep with all the noise around me. It would rain a little bit to cover up the windows so people couldn't see them too easily. But this has got some window tint, and I think as long as nobody's walking by really close, I shouldn't have too much of a problem. So that's the story about that. And I did live in there a month and then got my RV. Then I lived in the RV for another 3 years or so before rejoining society and becoming quote-unquote productive member of society. So let's go grab that food, and as soon as the snow starts to really fall a little heavier, we are going to commence the hunkering down. One of my favorite treats is a white box pizza. Oh, yes. White box for one of these small little locally owned things that don't really have a big enough chain to print their own boxes. I'll just call them a white box pizza. But I'm famished. So I'm going to dig into this deluxe-y looking little pizza here. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That steams up the windows pretty good. But yeah, gonna get out with some of this. And then I still don't see our snow yet. That's kind of a crucial ingredient in being stealthy because I don't have anything else to go over the windows. I'm going to be relying on snow insulation completely. Oh, there's a bunny. This place is crawling with me. Hey, our snow is falling. That's building up on the dash right now. Nature's camouflage will cover this all. And it'll be probably so good I can even use a little bit of light back here once we get enough snow on the windows. I've got the heater going a little bit to try and warm it up here. It's on the floor setting, so it shouldn't melt off too much on the windows. And it's going to be a little chilly tonight, probably minus 14 degrees Celsius, which in Fahrenheit I'll have to do that conversion. But it'll be all right once I'm in that sleeping bag. It's a little colder than I normally like to camp out in, but we got a thermometer in here, so we're going to see how much my body heat actually warms up the vehicle. I'm going to crack my windows here just a little bit. Provide ventilation, and that way in the morning it's not a huge deal to try and thaw this all out, because when you're camping in really cold weather in a vehicle, it will be solid ice on the inside of the windows just from exhaling all night. So time to turn off these lights and crawl into the back. Okay, let's get back here. All right. Good. I'm gonna just shut off these lights here, and I'll give you an update in a second here when we get a little more snow on the windows. So we've got a nice bit of snow built up on the window. I'm just tucked right in here. The temperature I'm reading in here right now is like 16 degrees Celsius. Can't even see my breath. That's really good considering outside it's around minus 14 Celsius now, minus 13, 14, somewhere in that range. So I'm anticipating it will get colder in here. So I've got my delicious step 2 of root beer in the sleeping bag, along with a bottle of water. For when I wake up in the morning and I'm thirsty from sleeping in a car all night. So that's what I got right now. I have to give a big shout out to people who are sponsoring these adventures. So thank you all for your generous donations. Again, certainly don't feel obligated to. I appreciate those who do, but there are people actually living in cars right now. So if you donate to Habitat for Humanity or Food Bank or something like that, just shoot me an email. You can find the email on campingwithsteve.com, and get in touch with me that way, and I'll give you a shout out just for donating to a good cause. That's all we really need in this world right now, is to make things a bit easier, because I'm in the car by choice. A lot of people aren't. So that being said, I'm gonna turn in. Hopefully it's gonna be a quiet, uneventful, normal night of sleeping in the car without any surprises. But as always, I have car keys with me right beside me, and you always got to know where they are, because in a vehicle, if somebody starts rattling one of the handles or God forbid smashes a window out, I want to be able to hit that alarm pretty quick, and then hopefully that'll spook them off. Or I suppose somebody yelling from within the car would probably surprise them as well. So that is kind of the line of defense if there is anything wrong. With the vehicles you choose, if you're camping in them, the junkier they look, the more problems you're going to have. I've been living in vehicles not for a while now, but I had enough experience in it. If I drove past, I could easily tell if somebody was sleeping in the vehicle. Most people would not notice; they'd just drive past. But as soon as I see that condensation on the window, if I see they have the windows covered up a certain way, or generally the junkiness of a vehicle, things tied onto the side of it, extra storage compartments and stuff, right away. So try to keep the vehicles clean, as stock as possible. Don't dress it out with limo tint on all the front windows and everything. That's just got to try and keep it as normal looking a vehicle as possible. But this old timer can ramble on sometimes, so I'm going to turn off the light. We'll see you guys in the morning. And thanks for watching. Now you're camping with Steve. Kind of. Or sleeping in your car with Steve. Cheers.
Find junior chicken sandwiches on the $1.99 menu. Live free, eat solid.
Steel is the skeleton of our society. To create a sustainable future, we better begin with the backbone that holds it all together.
Safe like repair, safe like replace. Nobody likes a cracked windshield. But at least you can go to safelight.com and schedule a fix in minutes. Go to safelight.com and schedule a replacement today. Safe like repair, safe like replace.
You focus on your next deal. We'll focus on your taxes. Block Advisors by H&R Block serves over 2 million businesses like yours every year. Find an expert who understands the ins and outs of the real estate industry. File with Block Advisors today.
I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, but thanks to Sky Rizzy and Clear Skin, I'm all in. With Sky Rizzy, I saw dramatically clearer skin, and many even achieved 100% clear skin. Don't use Allergic.
Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
With Skyrizi, nothing on my skin means everything. Ask your dermatologist about Skyrizi today.
Good morning. Nothing soothes the soul more than sleeping in a nest of blankets in the back of an SUV. It was a little bit chilly last night. I could say that. I was actually sleeping right on my thermometer, so I don't have an actual. Oh yeah, I can see the minimum temperature in here. Last night was 0 degrees. So right at freezing, 0.5 degrees Celsius. And the maximum temperature from when I was sleeping on the thing was probably like 29 degrees. So it was nice and toasty under the sleeping bag, that's for sure. I don't know if we got quite the amount of snow that I was expecting that we'd get. And it could still be snowing for all I know, I'm not sure. But I haven't checked yet if they've still got the snow warning, snowfall warning on it. But the amount of condensation even on the windows here, like there is some for sure. But I've slept in a vehicle before. I'm packing up in so I'm going to start the vehicle, get the thawing process going. I'm going to get out of here because I don't know what I'll start this up, get the heat going, then I'll have to defrost all the windows in here before I can really go anywhere. But it's not unusual. If a vehicle starts out here, a lot of people got those remote car starters, right? Like, so you could just be warming it up. Oh, oh, fucking stuff. Look at this. This sleeping bag is disintegrating. I think it might be time to check out sleeping bag situations. But yeah, you can see all this little bits of condensation in here. But yeah, let's get this started and then go find some grub. Still some condensation to come off, but I haven't even turned the fan on full blast yet. Check out the snow situation. Yeah, we actually got not a whole pile of snow. They were calling for almost 6 inches, 10 to 15 centimeters worth. So, oh well, that could be a blessing in disguise because at home, we finally got our driveway passable, so. Yeah, I'll be up here in no time. Be defrosted. It'll be a piece of cake. Oh, hi. Can I get a large coffee with 2 cream and 1 sugar? And could I also get an everything bagel with cream cheese? A plain, please. Yes, thank you. Not today. That's everything, thanks. You too, thank you very much. Hi. Thank you. Thanks. When you park for the night, if you're sleeping in your car, park as late as possible. Don't pull up at 6 p.m. and then hang out there watching movies and cooking dinner, eating food. You do that somewhere else where you're actually going to sleep for the night. You just glide right in at 10 or 11, whenever you go to sleep. Peek around, make sure nobody saw you, crawl into the back, and then you get out as early as you can in the morning. No sense to linger around and sleep in and read the news or whatever. Like, get out of there, because the less time you're spending there, the better. And some people do seem to think that that sleeping in your car is a very serious crime. I think in some states it is a little bit more serious than here. I think if there was a complaint to the police, they would probably knock on the door, ask you what you're doing. They may tell you to move somewhere else if they're not comfortable with where you're parked. But I don't think that they'd give you a ticket or anything like that. I don't think it is possible here. But they certainly could harass you, and that's just not pleasant to deal with at 2 or 3 in the morning when it's freezing in your car, etc. Like, yeah. So it's Tim Hortons Big Bagel. Guess that means everything but cheese. I just see sesame seeds and poppy seeds on this everything bagel. One side's got cream cheese, one does not look toasted at all. This isn't toasted. Huh. Unreal. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that video and see if I double check I actually said to get it toasted. That would be good. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna have my breakfast here, and we're gonna upload this as soon as I can find a good cell tower to park under. I'm gonna test my upload speeds here, because unfortunately, not only do we not have fiber optic internet, we don't have cable internet, we don't have DSL internet. We've got a little Wi-Fi hub, or a little LTE hub at home, and that just uploads at 1 megabit per second. So my files are usually like 10, 13 gigs in that area for a 4K file. So it's really tricky to try and get that done from home unless I, spend the whole day uploading. My cellular data, they give me 50 gigs a month. So 4 videos a month, they can be about 12 and a half gigs each, as long as I don't use any other data. So that's what we'll do. We will use up 12 and a half of my gigs today somewhere. So thanks for watching. If you can tolerate this stuff, or if you're mildly curious, you can please consider subscribing. There's also, of course, Hunker Down merch. There's a few different designs, and as soon as I get the time, I'll be putting up another design or two. And that's a perfect gift for someone who loves my channel, or if somebody hates my channel, that would be a hilarious, ironic gift if you got that for them. So there's those options. But yeah, other than that, we will see you guys next week. And now you've been camping with Steve, kind of, in the back of the car. Cheers, guys.
Co-pilot, make a quiz for my astronomy notes.
You got it. What type of galaxy is Andromeda?
Spiral.
What does a spectrometer measure?
Light.
And when was your essay due?
Makes all the sense in the world. Okay. All that is dealt with. And I'll find my stove attachment. We'll get this cooking. I did not expect conditions to become that windy, which normally they don't out here. But that's the way things go. Looks like it's going to tip it over again here in a second unless I do something drastic. But we'll get this canned stuff heating up. Some extra ingredients need to be added to make this more than just the bachelor meal that checks off all the boxes. We're going to make this a little bit more gourmet. Done a little balsamic vinegar. Can't go wrong with that. Maybe a tablespoon worth. Give it a little more acidity. And along the lines of acidity, a squirt of lemon juice, small one. Yep. Because if you actually eat this stuff, it tastes like ketchup or tomato soup or something like that. Pepper in there. Go. I've got some beef bouillon concentrate, so it'll give it a broth sensationness to it. And not a whole lot, but a bit. And that was a bit for sure. Right. Now, some crushed chili peppers in there. A pinch should do. Now, when they originally make this, they leave out the oregano for some reason, so here we are. Oregano in there. Okay, so fix that so far. You can never go wrong with liquid smoke, right? And this will probably dose it a little bit better if I do it this way. A little liquid smoke, some smokiness, and garlic. My spoon's over there somewhere, but we can probably put some garlic in there. Just free pouring it. There we go. A bit of garlic. And for later, I got finished her off with some freshly grated parmesan. So I'm gonna stir this up. It's smelling less disgusting already. That's great.
Car Donations Vehicles for Veterans offers an excellent alternative way for the American people to support our nation's veterans and their families. Thank you, Vehicles for Veterans, for always doing a little more for our nation's heroes.
Introducing Domino's new and first ever stuffed crust pizza. Try it for the first time tonight.
Investment opportunities are everywhere you turn, but at T. Rowe Price, we're letting curiosity light the way, asking smart questions about opportunities like advances in healthcare and how these innovations will create a healthier world tomorrow. Better questions, better outcomes.
Great news. You know, that actually worked. I did not really expect it to taste that good. But we're going to toast up a little sourdough on the Mr. Buddy here. And there is a whole group dedicated to cooking and rigging these Mr. Buddy heaters up to cooking. I don't know what it is, but I've got a few comments about it. I'm going to toast up a little bread. Actual Parmesan cheese. Yeah, this is going to be a decent one, I think. Not too shabby. Sophisticated Chef Boyardee.